Hey, what's good, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Black Thoughts. Season 4 is in full effect, and it has been exactly 2 years to date since the last time me and Kenyatta actually recorded a podcast, which is crazy to think because all this time that has gone by and everything that we've done in the last 2 years, it doesn't even feel like it's been 2 years.
It does. I thought it was a year, but we back at it.
Yeah, so for everybody out there, for the fans out there, the reason for the 2 year hiatus was because me and Kenyatta were actually working on ourselves. And when I say working on ourselves, I mean working on ourselves as far as our education goes. Me struggling and fighting hard to get this bachelor's degree, and Kenyatta working as hard as she's been working to get this master's degree.
Yeah, we had to take a brief separation.
Right, and
from each other.
Happy to say that we both actually have accomplished that. So you gotta clap it up for that. You know what I mean?
Why you ain't catch that?
What?
I said a brief separation from each other. You said right?
That's crazy. No, I didn't know that. I didn't know that you said that. Nah, I messed up on that. But
it's like, no.
So I know my journey has been really, really rough because this is something that I did on and off. I started it back when fresh out of high school when we were 18.
Yeah.
I stopped at 20 or 21, and then I ended up picking it back up at the age of 30, you know what I mean, to finish out this degree right here. But for you, you've already gone through your bachelor's degree. You receiving your master's degree, what do you think was the most difficult part about that compared to your undergrad?
It probably was the same thing. It really wasn't nothing else different, just staying on top of the class. Well, I guess, no, the only thing different is the classes was longer. Because my undergrad class was only 8 weeks, and the grad class was 12 weeks. So when I was getting to that 8-week mark, matter of fact, my first semester, I got to 8-week mark. I'm like, ain't class over? Then I looked, I said, oh no, it's 12 weeks.
Right.
So dealing with that, and the fact that I did project management and having to constantly do a group project in every class, every semester, was annoying. That was probably the hardest part, because I don't like doing group projects.
I'm about to say, I think the most annoying part for me was actually doing the electives, I would say, is because I've never understood why is it that you have to take so many art classes, like photography
but they're the easy
and everything
classes.
else. Yeah, but for somebody like me that's not really a big creative person, I'm not, and you know this, I'm not good with drawing on the spot. I can draw when I feel like it, but if you tell me to draw something, if you tell me to paint something, it goes right on my head. I can't. I freeze.
If you tell me what to draw or paint, I can do it. If you tell me to come up with my own thing, my own subject matter, that's hard if I'm not in the moment of painting. But if you give me something to paint, then at least I can focus on you're telling me to paint this. So that makes it easier.
But I was really stressed out. When my art teacher, she told me to I had to draw a shoe and some other stuff, and I'm like, yo, what the hell? I gotta draw a shoe, and I gotta make little squares and all types of
intro
stuff
art classes.
Yeah, and I hated it.
They want you to learn shape and dimension and all that stuff.
And you used to see me. I used to come up here and I used to be zapping. I'd be like, yo, man, F this. I'm not doing this. I ain't doing it, man. It's pointless. It's not even going.
The lectives was easy for me. I enjoyed the lectives. I enjoyed the film class. Because it was actually interesting to watch some of them old films that I otherwise would have never went to look at. The hard part was finding them. Finding them for free on YouTube was hard. And the fact that I do all my homework the day that it's due. So to watch the movie and have to write the paper that day knowing the movie is 2 hours is crazy. Because I legit now have 2 hours to watch it. And I'm typing the summary as I'm watching the movie and semi fast forwarding. But I saw some good movies.
And see, and that's the thing that used to irritate me, right? I would watch you do something the day before, and I watch you get a solid A on that shit. And then I turn around and I'm doing my homework literally from Wednesday to next Wednesday, and it's a C, a B. And I'm like, yo, I've been taking notes. I've been doing everything.
I think you overthink it. But I don't. I just... Yeah.
But see, that's the thing, because I found myself, in classes before this, right? So, if you take it back to when I was at Morgan, right?
Yeah.
And I tried to lay back on it, I found myself in a really bad position, right, in class. This time around, I'm actually trying to stay on it and on top of it because I know that, I have to turn around, I have to go to work. We work full time now.
Yeah.
No, we didn't work full time back in the day. We were just working part-time jobs, coming in and out and doing whatever. But now with having a full-time job, I try to stay on top of this stuff. And I was like, golly, I can't get right.
See, I think but see, the first time around, you're in person. So in person, I think you have to put an effort because you have to get graded for like participation where they can see it. This time around, we did online school. So really, long as you submit it by the deadline, everything else don't really matter. So I don't know that, and I think it's how we work when it comes to school. I work better online. I can't sit in the classroom. I'm going to be asleep in 10 minutes. I feel like if you had the right professor, you work better in classroom because you can ask all the questions you need and you're talking to them directly about whatever the subject matter is versus I don't want to see you. I don't want to talk to you. I just want you to give me my work, let me do it, and turn it in. And that is all.
Man, I mean, like, yo, don't get me wrong. Like, a lot of the stuff that I was asked to do, it was kind of like self-explanatory, So
Yeah.
I didn't mind too much on that. But like you said, even with the art class or even sometimes with some of my human resource classes, it was like, make up this, make up an action plan for something that was imaginary that we. On the spot. And I'm like, yo, I can't just do something like that. I need something to go off of before I actually start, creating memos, before I start creating regular action plans, before I start creating slides and everything for PowerPoints. Like, that's something that I'm just not, and mind you, I don't do that on a regular basis at work.
I was going to say that, and this is because of your job. Our jobs are totally different, so I'm used to, I can always use my job for those assignments and just change the company name, but your jobs are never set in that structure where you can use that, or you're not involved in that point where you will even see that part of it.
Right, because, a lot of my jobs, even with me having a supervisor position now, I'm still not a part of the administrative staff. So I'm not back there on the computer.
Yeah, your jobs are never technologically advanced.
No, never.
They're real basic, even with their email and everything. Like, it's very basic and old school, where my jobs are always jumping on the newest system and stuff. So I'm constantly learning new software, and yours just be like, we just send an email.
Right, and look how hard that was for me when we first had to transition into actually doing emails. Because first of all, I never communicated that way. I always communicate with everybody, straight from my phone. So I always made my phone calls to
each other.
Every customer or anybody that we dealt with. It never was an issue.
Yeah.
And then when we started dealing with it, I'm sitting there like, yo, they forwarding messages. I don't even. Where's the message? It's blank.
And my jobs are remote, so I'm always in email. Like, email is your only option, or like a Teams IM, but most part, all the important stuff is email, so you constantly gotta check it.
What of all the courses that you've taken, right, in these last 2 years, or it just period? What did you find to be one of your favorite courses to take?
From the most interesting,
most interesting that you never thought would even be interesting.
You know what? Honestly, I don't remember what none of the classes' title was, because everything was like project management something. Something else. Okay. Like, everything started project management, blah, blah, blah. So I really don't even remember the titles. But let's see, which one did I like the most, probably? It's probably going to have to be one of my last ones, because the team project was so self-explanatory and easy, and it didn't last the whole term. Because most of the other projects, it lingered the whole term. It's like we started the project like week 4, and we turned it in by week 8. And then after that, everything else was just answer the discussions. Like, that just made it real simple and easy. Now, if I had to go back to undergrad, my favorite class, it's all the electives, because it was easy. Or the human resource class where you learn about unions and stuff. Because at the time, that was very helpful with the job I had at the moment, with how things, and with your job, because you wasn't in class yet when I had that class. So it was helpful to look at stuff with the job. So learning like labor laws, and then the union stuff, because now you know how to not let them play you in your current position, because you're like, nah, I know what that law is. Because anytime you got to do an assignment, they're like, pick a state. I'm always going to pick up my state, so I can learn what the laws are for my state. So now, you know better. So
and it's so crazy. I don't know if you ever feel this way, but I definitely do. For some reason, like in any of my human resources classes, as soon as we start talking about a certain topic, it's always pertaining to something that's happening at work that's
It
probably
always
an issue.
it lands up with it every time.
Like I was sitting there one time, like you said, when we was talking about unions and everything like that, right? And then I found out that, because obviously we work on the other side, we're not with the plant and everything like that, right? And I found out that the plant and them have like this whole strike thing going on, and I'm like, damn, we just talking about unions and everything that's going on, and people going on strike and everything like that, and it's here.
Well, like you was at Amazon at the time, so it's like, Dad, how can we use this here and there? And then with my job, we was talking about raises. I was trying to get promotion at my last job during my undergrad, and it's like it lines up perfect. I do think it's funny. It seems like somehow those classes always end up coming up when you need to take them at a time where something does happen. Mm-hmm. So then you get to learn through the process, and you get to help like your coworkers through certain shit that you don't know about. And I think my job probably the reason why I went into HR for undergrad in the first place. Because I wanted a position there, and then also I wanted to learn from, that side. But then as you learn, and then actually talking to HR people at my former job that was actually honest about how it works, and it's just really to swindle you out as the employee to help the company, then it's like, I don't know if I want to do that. Or if I do it, how can I do the job and actually help the employee without me losing my job? Because I know it's for to protect the company, but I should be also protecting the employees too.
And that's exactly why I got into HR, because and I've been asked this question on multiple different occasions. I got into HR working at Amazon and seeing exactly how they operate. Mm-hmm. Now, don't get me wrong. Every other establishment I worked at, even Shoe City, even St. Agnes, I've been in a position where I've working at the bottom or in the middle. Yeah. And it's like, but you still don't have the power to really change how things are in that establishment. So when I got over to Amazon, I saw how they were operating and the way that people were getting fired left and right just for small stuff, little stuff that you could kind of just be like, oh man, that's nothing.
Right, it really ain't.
I was like, no, I really got to get into this, because I'm like, I could be the change that an organization needs to stop the turnover, because the turnover rates in a lot of companies are ridiculous, especially at Amazon. For every 3,000 you fire, there's another 3,000 coming through the door.
Even my current job, our turnover rate is high, but I don't think it's turnover. And the way they calculate is weird, because it's based on leaving the department and not the job. So our turnover rate is high for my department.
I wouldn't even
but it's
count
because
that,
people move to other positions or they transfer to another department within the job. So I'm like, in one aspect, on paper, the turnover rate is high. That's a bad thing. But on the other aspect, if you constantly have people coming in at one level and they're able to move forward or jump to another department at a different level in a year every time, then that's also good, because that means you actually have your employees progressing.
Yeah, that's kind of like an internal promotion, sort of, kind of. Yeah.
So but that means you go through the whole job application process again. So I think that's why they do it, because you got to interview again, you got to apply again. They make you go through that whole process again. So I think that's why I look at it like that.
And it's so crazy, because I think, at the job right now, this is the first job I've been at that doesn't have turnover as much as every other job that I've ever worked.
They don't have enough employees that have turnover.
I mean, I'm saying, though, as far as our drivers, as far as the guys that work on the floor and everything like that, these are the same guys that have been here, with me for, the past 2 years. With the exception of maybe, 2 or 3 of them.
Y'all good medium-sized company. It's not too many people where it's constant, drama and hassle. And it's not short-staffed enough to where you're completely overworked. So it's a good sweet spot. So if you get in and you good with your pay amount, your job really don't have much need for you to want to leave. Unless you want to advance, because then there ain't much room for advancement there. Or if you start wanting extra money, because then none of these jobs trying to really pay nobody no extra money. That's so true. If you good, if you a single person, no kids, no nothing, and you good where you at financially with that, it's no need to leave. And if you ain't looking to do more, because a lot of people aren't looking for promotions. Some people just want to get paid a livable wage to go along. Everybody's not looking for the title of manager and supervisor. Everybody's not trying to climb the ladder. Some people just want to go to work, do their job, no extra responsibilities, but make enough to cover their damn groceries.
And that's what the old heads used to tell me all the time. Even when I first got in, they say, do your 8, go home.
Yeah.
You don't got to do no extra. You're only obligated to do the 8.
But now you need to do more than 8 if you want to pay bills, because
the 40
is not covering no more.
Rent so damn high. You have to.
Either
you gonna work overtime or you going for another job.
Yeah, or you gotta go for a promotion. You have no choice but to ask for promotion, and then half the time the money you get and then the extra work they give you do not equal out. They do not equate to each other.
No, not at all.
So now you're just like, I could just stay where I was, especially when taxes go ahead and eat up whatever the raise was. You're like, I really could have just stayed where I was. At the end of it, you may have an extra $100 on your check after taxes tear it up.
And this probably gonna be for another day because I don't want to go too far into it, but I hate the fact that all year long we pay taxes are taken out of our paychecks and we walk away with hardly nothing just for them to tell you at the end of the year that you made too much and that you still have to owe them something.
It makes no sense.
That's ridiculous.
But then you can't afford nothing.
You
but you also don't qualify for nothing.
But they set the parameters for what they wanted to take out of my check for Social Security, for medical, for everything else like that, for state and for federal. But then at the end of the year, you said, "Oh man, hey, I think you made too much money."
You couldn't take no more from me because then at this point, why am I working? I'm gonna just go be on the street because I'm gonna end up having to like the amount of people I've seen on social media who have full-time jobs and live out their car because rent was so high, the qualifications to get approved was outrageous, and then having first months and last rent all together they can't afford, and people was like literally living out their car, going to work, using their gym membership to go shower, and had full corporate office jobs. They may not have been hired, but had a full job in somebody's office, what we consider a good job at that time, and still had to live out their car. That makes no sense.
Yeah, that is ridiculous. I ain't gonna lie to you. If I was living by myself, I might just. I don't know if I could say that because I know we don't lie. I might just F around and be in the car and take showers at the gym just to save some money, to go buy a house, because buying a house right now is ridiculous right now.
If we live somewhere
warm,
is horrible. If we live somewhere warm and I didn't like buying stuff as much as I do, I could do an RV thing and be fine with it.
Yeah, and I'd chill.
But I like shopping too much, and you can't fit all them clothes in the RV.
Yeah, no.
And going to a storage unit constantly just seems... That seems crazy, and I also feel like somebody would notice that I'm buying stuff and then break in and steal all my stuff.
Yeah. No doubt. Back to the topic at hand, though. I think my favorite courses that I took, and it's so crazy, I never thought that I would even like them. Communications was one, which was
That's a good class.
which was something I definitely needed, what I'm saying, in order for my to get my degree. Mm-hmm. But I also found women's studies very interesting too, and I didn't think that I was gonna really like that class because that was also an elective class, and I was like, man, I'm messing around and be the only guy in the class, which I ended up being the only guy in the class. I feel like
you was,
but it was really informative, and it was so crazy that a lot of times in that class, my professor would ask questions, and for certain topics, women would respond to it, and I'd be like, well, why they don't talk about this? Why nobody referred to this? Right. Like these are women. Like I would think that these would be like the number one things on your mind to speak about.
That would make sense.
You know what I mean? And a lot of and I found myself like saying a lot of stuff, and a lot of them giving me a lot of feedback, like positive feedback. Like, oh my God, that's something great to think about.
I never they came from a man.
Yeah, and I think that's what made it so good to be in that class. Like I was like, oh wow, I'm adding to this. Like I felt like I was being an ally at the end of the day. You know what I mean? Like I was being like a feminist
to the conversation.
Yeah, sort of kinda. And and it was so crazy because and it's crazy to even think about this at the age of 32. It'd be like, oh now I know the difference between gender and sex because I never really I always associated them together as one.
I don't know if we wasn't paying attention in school or legit at one point. They didn't break it down like that.
They never broke it down. So
as one.
Yeah, so I've always thought like, when you ask somebody what their gender is, it's always male, female. Just like when you ask what the sex is, it's male or female. You know what I mean? Like man or woman. And when it got broken down to me that how gender is just this construct. Even with everything we got going on in the world, like I understand everything, transgender and everything like that. But to break it down the way that they broke it down, it was very informative. And I was like, okay, I feel like I have way more information about this topic now, that everybody is speaking about, that everybody is so confused about. Now my eyes feel like they're a little bit more open than before.
And I feel like it was a line drawn to separate it because trans people and I guess the forefront want to say now.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, they always have. It always has been someone that was trans somewhere, but we didn't like society didn't acknowledge it. Like they was just considered. I'm not even gonna say it because I feel like it's derogatory to say the term, but they was kind of looked at as like how drag queens are. Like they dress up. They was kind of looked at like that. Like, oh, you're just doing it. Like people wasn't actually taking in consideration, no, this is how they feel, this is how they identify. So with the world changing so much and people actually now acknowledging how people identify, you now have to make a clear line between what the two are. When we just live in the world just being heterosexual the way it was, they was just meshed together like the same. Like gender and sex is the same thing. Like they just meshed it together. There was no clear separation, no clear divide. Because if you think back in health class, they didn't really...
They never covered
explain the difference.
I don't know if they never explained it because we were in like
because
public school or maybe because we were kids.
Or it could be our state, because every state education system stuff different or is younger. And then by the time you get to like high school, that's not even discussed anymore. Because at this point, you know gender and sex. Like you done went through the whole sex thing and reproductive process. So that's not even the topic anymore. And then unless you go to like a certain college and they have gender studies, you won't look no further into it. And then without having people of different communities in your environment, you don't even think about it.
But you know what? I think they treat a class like that as, you know, of a person just taking real life experience from it. Because you got to think about like the same thing, like how they keep religion out of school, right? Yeah. They don't teach you religion. You learn religion outside.
Yeah, and that may have been
unless you go to college and you go for like religious studies. I think they have something like that.
And no parent was going to explain any further because honestly, life was looked at as a way at the time where it wasn't needed. Like, for what? Like, why would you need to differentiate that in detail? But when you go back and look at the definitions, it's very much like clear as day. But I think it's also a thing of, we don't really look at definitions.
No.
Like, you hear something, you're like, all right, I know what gender and sex is. But no one actually goes and, like, legit look at the definition of which is which and like, oh, so that can be different from that if I look at what the real textbook definition of this is.
Yeah, because like I said, I thought gender and sex meant you know, what were you biologically. I didn't know that sex is the only thing that's biological. Gender is totally different.
With STDs and STIs, I could have sworn when we was in school, STIs wasn't even a phrase I heard. Unless I very much sometimes did not pay attention in class. So I'm
gonna be real with you, yo.
But we graduated high school in 2009. I feel like everything was listed under a STD. Like if you got it through sexual contact of any way or like kissing and through saliva, it was just under STD. Now I very much understand why it's different between STD and STI because you can get rid of the I and then the D you're stuck with. Like if it's a disease, you're living with it. But if an STI, that could just be like, you know, like chlamydia or something. I think you can get rid of chlamydia. I don't remember.
I mean, unless it's that super strand that they were talking about. They said you can
I do remember something like that coming out. But yeah, so I understand the difference now, but I feel like at one point they was lumped together. Like, if you got it through sexual contact or sexual, I don't even think I can say that because we want live too. If you get it through that, I swear it was all lumped together. So I think it's also a thing of like the world forever changing, terms always changing, terms being updated, even definition change. You can remember a definition to a word and you go look at it now and it could have a whole new definition because as time went on, they realized that definition did not fully encapsulate what it means. Mm-hmm. So it's a matter of us constantly learning. So low key going back to college a little bit after high school, you really learn a lot more that if you had went to college right after high school, you still probably wouldn't know unless you was having these conversations with people in your daily life because you would have already been out of school just like a lot of our parents don't know a lot of stuff because they're like, well, I graduated back in such and such and it wasn't even in being taught yet. So I think it's always going to be like at some point our daughter's going to come home and teach us something that we didn't know. Because she's going to go through high school like, we learning this now. And be like, what? Like, when did that become a thing?
And I'm not going to lie to you. And what made that class so good, because I had 2 transgender individuals that were in that class. And, you know, when we had to reply to people, you know, some people will reply back to you too. I found myself having a great conversation. I'm talking about it was to the point that my teacher was like, yo, she had to give me nothing but 100 on it because we had the thread going down. Like really, really far because we just kept communicating with each other on it, and I loved it. And one of the people, it was like, you know, I'm glad that you've taken time to kind of do your homework on it. You know, I'm glad that you didn't just jump out here and, you know, say something ignorant, pretty much, right? But I'm not an ignorant individual like that anyway. Now, I'll say I'm ignorant to the sense that I did not know these things, because the word ignorant, it has different meanings depending
it's a lack
on
of
how
knowing.
you say it. Right. And so it was really good.
You weren't willfully ignorant.
Yeah. So it was good to have those conversations with them, because, you know, a lot of times having conversations with people might come across wrong, which is why, you know, I try to not really speak on that stuff a lot, because it's like, yo, if you don't really understand 100%, you shouldn't talk on it. You shouldn't speak about it at all.
It's a lot of things I'm not going to ever say I'm going to ever fully understand stuff when it comes to any type of community, whether that's race, cultural, gender, any other sexually based community. I may not understand it, but I'm going to just respect you either way. I may not ever fully understand everything. You're not going to fully understand everything or nothing. And I may not fully ever get your point of view and your perspective, because I don't get to live your life and I don't walk in your shoes. But I'm just going to respect it anyway, and I'm going to learn what I can. Like, with our job, with pronouns becoming a thing, and me, like, talking to people in college and stuff, we had to, at one point, they had to send out email like, hey, don't automatically come back on the phone or talk to student and be like, but she said, and ma'am, and, you know, growing up, we're taught to say ma'am and sir.
And, you know, I say that all the time.
If you look at the name and you hear the voice.
Just out of respect.
Yeah, you look at the name on the screen, you hear the voice sound feminine. The name is what would be considered a feminine woman's name. You instantly think that, but then we actually got a lot of students that was either non-binary or they had switched to whatever they felt as though that they were. And then I just got in the habit of just saying, either just saying their name or just saying, you know, the student or whatever, just to be respectful. I'm like, I know in my mind from just memory, instantly you want to say ma'am and sir. But I'm like, that can be offensive to someone. I don't want to intentionally offend someone, so I'm just not going to say it at all. Because that just makes more sense than me trying to, like, figure it out. Especially when I'm working, I'm just trying to get done. So, like, if I'm getting to know you personally, then I'm going to make sure I remember what you want to go by. But if I'm just talking to you, like, okay, then the student or Sarah said, and then sometimes some people even have preferred name, like, they will call in and say, well, my account says such and such, and I go by this name. And I'll be like, okay. And then I use the preferred name that they want to go by, because it don't take nothing to just respect the person.
Right.
So, learning that and doing that in class and then learning it through work just really helps, like, solidify those small changes in your head to just stay up to date with, like, how the world is progressing. Because sometimes it can be hard, like I said, if you don't have people like that in your immediate circle, sometimes you'll forget other people of the world because that's not in your daily.
Right.
So having that through work and school helps you think about, like, it's other people in this world that's not going through life the same as me. So I need to keep my mind open to think about that stuff. So now it ain't nothing. Like, and this was a few years ago when we first started doing it. So now it's nothing. Now I don't even think about it.
You know, I'm about to say, I'm not gonna lie to you. I've always thought it was just kind of normal anyway.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, yo, we gone to school with, you know, homosexual guys, lesbian females. I've never looked at nobody in any type of different way. Like, everybody's just everybody. I'm
just mindful of everyone's terms now.
Yeah.
Because that wasn't necessarily, like, a thing at the time. Because people still went by whatever their, like, name was or whatever they perceived to be. And that wasn't really that wasn't really a thing. So just thinking about the terms. But now it's, like, easy. Like, after a few years, it's really it's no reason why you can't just be respectful and call somebody what they want to be called. Anything beyond that, it's you just being a jerk for no reason. Like, you really just an evil person. Because what's wrong with you? Like, why can't you just do it? But those classes are good. And communication class does come in handy because people in this world don't know how to communication for shit. Like,
and let me tell you, yo, one of the best projects I had in communication, yo, my professor gave to us. She said, she wanted everybody to pick 3 songs from 3 different eras, right? And you had to like dissect it and explain the song, right? I think I chose Sam Cooke, Change Gonna Come.
That's a good song.
I chose Marvin Gaye's What's Going On. And then I chose Wale's song The Pessimist, right?
I have no idea why I would have chose for that.
So yeah. Because remember I was going through my phone, through Spotify, through the years. So I was checking out songs from the 60s, songs from the 70s.
You had to do per decade?
Yeah, you had to pick a decade.
It had to be older decades.
But yeah, pretty much.
Oh.
Yeah, so you had to pick them through the eras, and you had to explain
I
what's going on. So with Sam Cooke, it was a lot of racism, a lot of turmoil, everything going on with that. And
I would have used that Alicia Keys song. That's probably not old enough.
Which one?
The one where she was dating the white guy.
Unthinkable.
Yeah,
you probably could have used that for like a now era. You could have used that.
Okay.
So I used that, and I was dissecting that, because he was talking about how hard it was living back then. And then I used Marvin Gaye's What's Going On. He was talking about, the war in Vietnam. What it's like when a soldier comes back from war, back to America and stuff like that. And then when I broke down Wilde's Pessimist, that was like the song of all songs, because that was the one that she loved the lyrics to, right? Because that broke down, when I broke that down, like Wilde he speaks so fluently about bad stuff that's going on in it. And it's like this one line at the end of the song where he's like, yo, why would I complain about a white man doing something when a person the same color as me is out here killing niggas too? Mm-hmm. And my teacher was like, this line right here is the line of all lines. And I resonate with that line because I've said the same thing too. Like, as much as I love the Black Lives Matter movement, we protesting because a white man killed a black man. But when a black man kills a black man, the streets too quiet. Nobody want to stand up. You feel me? When Tyrone killed Jimmy, it's like, that's the streets. You know what I mean? Nobody want to do nothing. Like, we have ceasefires, but nobody want to talk.
I'm going to say yes
nobody
or no, because I honestly think, depending on the person and the state and how much awareness it gets, people do protest, but I think it's just not big enough for the news. I think the news gets more buzz when it is a police officer doing it versus if people just protesting for safety in their own neighborhood. Because a few summers ago, like before the pandemic, when they were doing ceasefires around here, it wasn't no news crew out there recording the fact that the community organized together a ceasefire for their neighborhood that weekend. Yeah, so I also think when black people do it for their own community to stop violence within their own community, it doesn't get any buzz because that's technically showing a positive light. But if it's a cop that did it and then they get to show someone rioting, then they can still turn it and flip it and try to demonize us and make us look bad. So that works for them to publicize. I just felt
like there were too many, and I hate to say it, I felt like there were too many opportunists when some of these riots were going on.
I mean, yeah, it's always going to be
people out here that were poets and they were, spitting their poetry out for people, right? You feel me? People out here that were singing.
Yeah, some people out there just to
try to get notoriety. Yeah. You know what I mean? And I was like, man, I felt like that was nothing.
Yeah. The community or people since before then or after then ain't been an activist yet.
And when you watch the CVS get raided and people stealing the medicine from other people's grandmothers that they were supposed to come pick up and stuff like that, that's why I say, I resonated with the song because I'm like, yo, he speaks about pretty much all of that.
I ain't gonna never feel bad about a big corporation losing money that they don't put back in the community in which they put their stores anyway.
I mean, yeah, I understand. I get that.
If you are gonna do it, it should be more strategic. Like, you should have a goal. But I also understand when too many people get together and there's too many emotions rolling, sometimes stuff just happens. And it's not thought out and things happen. But why they focus on that and play the same 10 seconds over and over again on a loop to make it like it was bigger than what it was.
They made it look like Baltimore City had burned down.
It was literally like 2-3 blocks in the mall. That
was it. Pretty much.
Literally the mall ain't had nothing to do with that. That was just people that realized if all the police in the area are here, this is our opportunity to strike here.
And me and little bro, mind you, because Kinsley, she was little.
She was still big.
We hopped in the car and rolled down there. And, when you watch the police, the police have like a whole shield. They have all these shields. They stand across the street. You see people running down the hill. They rolling down the hill, right?
And something like that, you really don't realize how many police are in your city.
No.
Like, it don't click until you see them.
Until they're all right there, yeah. And like they had the helicopter, and you see all these people scattered. And I'm not gonna lie, I was down there for the wrong thing because all I could think about was, damn, them questions just came out. Them AIs.
The shoe store was in the middle of the mall. There's no way you was getting in there and getting through there.
I was like, man, I wonder if I could get in there. You know what I mean? But then when I saw them people, I was like, let's just keep riding, bro. I don't want to get hit with a nice stick or get shot today. It's not worth it.
I think like they hurt.
Yeah, that was bad on my pop. I don't. I didn't do it, but I did find that very interesting. That class was very interesting to me, and I thought that class was going to be the worst class ever. And I just knew.
Oh, well.
I said, if I don't get a C, I'm going to get an F in this class.
So, speaking of that, what was your worst class? I think I know what mine is, and it's probably yours, but you might not even be thinking about it.
My worst class probably was this last human resource class I took. And
I wasn't thinking about that one.
I think it was another class. I don't know if it was a human resource class that I had took before, but remember I told you I got like all A's in this class. I got one B, and the professor gave me a C. And when I went in here and I was furious about that because I said, yo, I had worked so hard in that class. I said, how do you get nothing but A's, one B, and it averaged out to a C? That doesn't even make sense. Yeah. And the one I got a B on wasn't even, it was like on a discussion tip. Like it wasn't even on like a big assignment. I was like, but even if it was on a big assignment, it still doesn't get you a C. And so when I emailed her and contacted her, like, professor, like, look, this don't even make sense. Her only thing was, oh, give me a call. I'm not gonna call you because I'm ready to cuss you out.
I didn't even think you was gonna pick those two classes because I was gonna say, all right, from the master's program. It was some management class I had. Because that one I withdrew from it. Because like no matter what assignment I turned in, you'll just cut giving me like 60s and 70s. And you need a B in the master's program to pass the class. So I withdrew from that one. And then when I redid it, I got a B in the class.
I think I
know. But from undergrad, it's that biology class.
Oh my God.
Clicking on labs on the screen was the most annoying thing in my life.
And trying to do them formulas and everything else like that. Oh my God.
You needed 2 monitors to do that class because you need the questions on one monitor and you literally need that electronic lab on the other. That was the most annoying class.
And literally I had to use it. I spend every single day, not even taking notes, every single day doing the work itself. Mm-hmm. All the way up until the last day I had to do the lab, and I was staying up to like 9:30, 10 o'clock at night. And I'd be so tired because I got to get back up at 2:30 in the morning just to get to work at 4 in the morning. And I'd be like, yo, I'd be at work struggling
hard. See, you was lucky. When you took it, it was one class. When I took it, the bio class was a class, and then the lab was a class. And I had a discussion in both of the classrooms. They had morphed them together. They gave yours all together.
It was so tough.
That was probably the only class I truly hated. And I think they gave me a statistics class in undergrad. You know I can't stand math.
But this capstone class, I hated it because, like you said, yo, it was so much extra writing and so much explaining and then going back to do stuff.
Essay every week.
But the other one that I hated, other than biology's number one. I ain't gonna lie to you. Biology class number one.
That class really make you
that human resource capstone class, that's number 2. My third most hated class was the nutrition class I took.
I actually like that class. It helped me with my eating.
I got transferred over from B.C.C. That was the worst. That was one of the worst classes ever because she was more interested in the fact that I wasn't putting a semicolon down on my paper. I said, Shorty, you supposed to be checking if these measurements are right. Like, you asked me. Right. I'm like, and I said that. And you know I said that. I said that every week. Yo, it's not English class, man. What the F she doing? I'm like, yo, you told me to get this. You told me to measure that. I did it. You told me you wanted me to put down a meal plan. I did it. And she's sitting here talking about some, there was a run-on sentence. Shorty, hey, yo, don't do that. Don't do that.
Well, at least we made it out at the end.
Yeah, we did.
If I put this on YouTube, I'll add the graduation pics.
Let me ask you a question, right? Because this undergrad thing was a killer for me. What made you go back to get a master's degree?
I don't want to start paying my student loans back.
Okay, all right, that's reasonable.
And then I got a job with the school, so then they paid for the master. So
everybody and their mother.
I might as well do the class if they're gonna pay for it and don't have to pay my student loans yet.
Like yo,
because that 6 months was winding down, and then my first job after I got my undergrad was temp for 6 months. Mm-hmm. So I'm like, by the time this is over, I was going to be back unemployed, but luckily this job came in like 2 months right after. I had it lined up, so I knew once that ended, I only had to make it like a month and a half until next, and I had money saved. But I was like, I'm not trying to pay these student loans back. Now, had I realized, we was going to head through the pandemic and they was going to keep pushing the student loan, because they just started student loan repayments like 3 months ago. So had I known that, I could have waited and signed up for it now. But it worked out because then we got to graduate together again.
And I think that was funny to do, y'all. Like,
wait, we got to do high school graduation.
For both of us to be able to do that together, I think that's what made it really, really good. Because I'm not gonna lie to you. If and you actually working from home actually worked out pretty good too, because I feel like if you didn't, I would have really had a hard time getting through these classes.
You had to wait till I got home to ask me questions.
Yeah, but I would have been irritated the whole time. But you know, like when after I had finished them first couple of classes up and I got a good grade and everything, when I jumped into them next couple of classes, they were so tough. It got to the point where I was like, you know what, I ain't even doing it. I threw the computer down, turned it off, came here, went to sleep. I ain't even want nothing to do with it. I was like, you know what, I'm just gonna be a quitter. You know what I mean?
That was the second time I saw you throw a
computer down. And when I woke up after going to sleep the next morning, I felt like complete shit because I was like, oh my God.
Felt like you gave up.
I gave up again. I didn't finish what I set out to do. I'm a failure. And the hardest part was coming to you and telling you, like, babe, I didn't even complete that assignment. It was due last night. And you come to me and was like, I did it. I'm like, you did what? You like, I completed. I did it for you. I'm like, yo, why would you do that?
Because you had started it. And I knew you was just in your feelings. I'm like, he'd be all right.
Yo,
I'm like, you don't need to fail this assignment though, so I'm gonna finish it because I know you're gonna finish the other classes.
And like, yo, and I mean, yo, and you've helped me a whole lot. I can't even say a little bit. You've helped me a lot with a lot of them assignments, man. Because like, yo, you were literally you were my. You were like the purple. You were like the person that John Wick gave the marker to, kind of like, yo. I had an impossible task. I needed to give a marker to you so that you could help me out because I couldn't complete it.
I'm your senpai.
Oh, okay. Oh my God.
No, I'll be watching my anime now.
No, I'm not.
I'll be teaching you. I'm your senpai.
Anyway, no, but like, yo, like I.
I'm trying to take this.
I've given you praise.
And I appreciate it.
Ever since I went back to school and I was like, yo, if it wasn't for her, I really would not be here today. Like, at all. And I would be trying to figure out what I'm going to do with life. Just trying to get another job and just try to stack my money up, I guess.
Nah, the job would piss you off. You probably would.
Yeah, eventually, yeah. I mean, I probably would have, but it's like, yo, that you were the only force. Well, you and baby girl, y'all were the only force really behind me, pushing me towards the end.
Now we just need some jobs to equate to these degrees.
But no, I mean, don't get me wrong, like, yo, because I'm actually making really good strides at the job I'm at right now. So I'm not.
Yeah, my job is chill.
I'm not bad. I'm not bad right now. Yeah, I want them to put some respect on my name. I
always want more money.
Yeah, I want them to put respect on my name because I feel like I do a whole lot, and I don't get paid to do a whole lot. You know what I mean? But nah. I can't, like I said, I can't thank you enough for doing that and standing behind me on everything, even standing behind me on this. You know, like yo, you've always been there. Like the times that you've said, "Oh, sorry, I can't do it," it's because you genuinely had a reason. Like, yo, you were doing homework yourself, or you were working on your business. You know what I'm saying? Just working on doing stuff. Yes,
I'm surprised I didn't yawn yet. Normally, I start yawning. It's something about a microphone get in front of me and I yawn instantly.
Yeah, I'm really surprised.
I feel one coming, but I'm holding it in.
Honestly, I was surprised when you was like, "Hey, yo, we gonna do this," because I'm like, "Yo, you."
Because you said you wanted to start back up when you was done school.
Yeah, I did. But you know, I've been in this state of enjoying not being in class. You know, for the past 2 weeks, like, yo, it's just been really, really fun just to just come home after work and lay down or exercise, because a lot of times I find myself only doing that like once a week because class is so demanding, because work is so hard. It's like I have no time to do any of those things. Like, I actually had a chance to go out with my friends last weekend.
Yeah, you shouldn't have did that one though.
I shouldn't have did that, because that shit
well, you should have talked correctly.
But like that's some shit on the other day. Chris, fuck you. I ain't gonna lie, because you the reason why some bullshit happened to me. If you listen to this, just give me a call.
First of all, it's him and Tosh. I'm gonna have to blame both of them. I wasn't even there.
It's both of y'all.
Maybe I should have went.
I shouldn't have stayed.
When you came in the house, I've been like, don't park there.
And they kept telling me, they like, yo, nah, you graduated, you gotta take this shot.
I'm glad I stayed home. I avoided that problem.
And normally I don't let peer pressure get to me like that, but I definitely let peer pressure get to me that
All
night.
our friends are bad influences, but in good ways.
And the only reason I ended up staying longer was because I was like, man, I need to let this wear off before I hop in this car. Even though I'm only like 5 minutes from the house, I said, I need to let this go.
That's only smart.
Cause yo, I'm not gonna lie. When I woke up the next morning and I was zapping about the car, I was like, I know I got here good. You know what I mean? I got all my limbs.
Did somebody drop me off?
I'm straight. You know, I know I'm good, but I'm like, yo, nah,
that's also one where you just leave the car there and take an Uber home.
But I ain't want to go back, yo, cause
that's true.
It was just a lot
Saturday
going on,
was
yo. But
hectic.
you know what though? I'm glad I still did it though. Even though it resulted in some money coming out of my pocket, I ain't feel like spending. I'm glad I did it though.
But that Saturday was real hectic. That whole weekend was.
It was crazy. But we ain't stressed about it. You know what I mean?
Christmas was good, but Christmas weekend leading to it, which is one thing after another.
But we persevered. We got through it.
We did it.
And ain't nobody, and we ain't zap out or nothing like that. And you don't normally in situations like that, I'm tripping.
Out.
I ain't trip off of that. I ain't trip off of it at all. Like y'all went
in, nobody out.
Did my thing, got everything back in order.
I was nice all weekend.
We still went out, got something to eat, and enjoyed the day. You know what I mean? We laughed about it. We laughed about it. Yeah.
No, we went to 5 and below.
I think we ended up getting something to eat, like probably when we got back or something like that. When we got back to the house.
We probably did. I don't remember.
But you know, we just enjoyed the day of just staying in the house and just kind of
chilling. That was fun. You know what I mean?
That's
always fun.
That was fun. Like I didn't zap out. I ain't going to my dark place like I normally do.
Well, that's
I'm like,
gonna be New Year's.
Unnecessary
money stay in the house like that. And eat brownies.
Yeah.
And I'll probably watch a Christmas movie because I feel like I ain't watch enough.
What other Christmas movies are there to really watch?
I don't know. I think I did watch all the ones that was new.
I think after Christmas, I don't think you need to watch Christmas movie no more. I think you watch Christmas movie from December 1st to the 25th. After that,
if it's a rom-com movie set around Christmas stuff, I'll still watch it for the love story.
Nah, the season's over.
Because if it don't have anything to do with Christmas, but it happened to just be Christmas at the time, and it's just following the two people, I can still do that. It don't gotta be exactly a Christmas movie.
Nah, I can't do it. I don't think I
didn't watch The Grinch this year, so maybe I should watch The Grinch.
Like, yeah, and it's like I can watch Home Alone.
No.
Like, in the beginning of December. I can't watch
I don't watch Home Alone.
I'm tired of it.
I'm sick of them.
Yeah, I can't watch it no more.
I see why he left him home. It got annoying after a while.
His family was more annoying than he was.
The entire family was annoying.
Yeah,
I would have left everybody.
Than Kevin was. So I wouldn't even do all
I would just
got
that's part 2. I'm gonna say I would just went somewhere else, but he did that in part 2.
Right. But
this was fun. I'm glad we back.
I'm glad we get back to like this kind of was weighing heavy on my heart because I love doing this.
Yeah, and I'm a permanent co-host at this point.
Yeah, pretty much for the most part. I plan on having another guest on here. I know I say that a lot. I know I make that promise a lot.
Kicking me out?
But I'm definitely you definitely know.
I'll be the cameraman.
Yeah, you still on with me.
I'm gonna be the camera person because y'all start doing sports. I'm gonna just be the camera woman.
But see, that's the thing though, because all right, so that's
one
thing
about
me.
I
told you before about that. Like, I'm not a sports. I love playing sports, but I don't watch sports. Like, I'm not an analyst.
I'll be on the soundboard
point by point. I can't do stuff like that. I leave that to the guys that actually that's on that know a player from back 30 years ago, and they can do all that. He has the highest percentage of it. I don't know any of that stuff. I just like who I like. I like the team that I like, and I just watch. I watch them play here and there, but I've never fully watched a full football game or a full NBA game on TV. That is,
no,
ever. I've never done that. Now, in person, yeah, I've watched that whole entire, Philly versus Golden State game, but I've never done that, though. I've never done that.
The stuff we did this year, we went to our first college, not the first, I went to a Coppin game years ago.
That was my first college basketball game.
Oh, that was my second. Cause I went to March Madness back in the day at Coppin, so.
Yeah, no.
But that was the first Terps game, so that could be another one.
You know what I was happy about during our graduation? And it was so crazy because we both was feeling this way. I love how both of us was happy for the other person. Like, I was doing a grad walk, but I was doing a grad walk because I really wanted to see you walk.
I was doing it because I wanted you to do it.
Because you really wanted to see me walk. And I was like, that's like real relationship.
As long as you give me the degree, I don't even care about being at the ceremony.
Yeah.
It'd be nice if somebody give me some money too. But
and it was crazy though, right? Because as much as I wanted to do it, right? As soon as we got there and we did the pictures, I was like, go. Yeah, I was like, nah, I just want to get something to eat.
Okay, I like going to events because I want to get dressed, but I don't want to go through the whole event.
I think the ride was what did it to me too, yo. 40 minutes.
And it was gloomy and raining that day. Yeah. So we had to work.
I hate driving far in the rain and in the dark at that. Yeah. Cause you can't see the lines on the road.
At least that food was good though.
Yeah, it was banging.
Milk and Honey. Shout out to Milk and Honey in College Park. Their food is good.
not a place
They
that I'm
small.
continuing to go. Cause
So don't take a big party like we did.
No.
But their food is good. It's a great little brunch spot. I enjoyed it. If we back out in that area,
if I have to go out there for anything, I will go back out to College Park. But
the best
I'm
hash
not
ever had.
going to College Park for just to go get something to eat. Yeah,
maybe find a mall in the area, go shopping, and then we can stop in there. There gotta be a mall around there.
What's close there though?
I don't know.
I
is there an outlet out that way? Or is that in the other direction?
Don't even give me the line.
I don't know. We got like 2 outlets, semi in Maryland. They're like on the outskirts, just about to hit DC or Virginia. Matter of fact, no, I think the other outlet is in Virginia.
What, that Tank outlet we went to?
Tyson's? That is in Virginia, I think. Tyson's Corner.
Wait, was that like more? That's more like DC, right?
No, I thought Tyson's Corner was the other way. I thought they was in Virginia.
I don't know. Like I said, don't give me the line, bro. I don't know.
No, the Tank outlet is it's pretty much DC because it's on the border, but it's still in Maryland technically. I don't know where the line drawn at. You pretty much in DC, but I think Tyson's Corner is in Virginia, and I ain't taking that ride.
But yo, to wrap this up, yo, I appreciate you, like, yo, taking this journey with me. Not just the school journey. Like, I appreciate you taking this journey of life with me. Like, 16 years of togetherness. And for you to still, like, push me the way that you push me. Or, like, yo, why you fuck it up? You fucked it up already.
I'm sorry.
See, I ain't say the F word all day, and now you got me saying I was chilling. I was really in the middle of like really saying.
I appreciate going through this thing called life with you.
Yeah, I do.
This wacky, crazy ride.
But yeah, y'all, we back in full effect. More Black Thoughts on the way, man. I don't know what else
we talking about.
Don't.
We ain't been doing shit but school.
It's a lot to talk about. It's life. We ain't Andre 3000. There's a lot to talk about.
Go live out in nature. I can't do it. Ain't no closets.
Whatever, y'all. We out, man. Love y'all. Peace.